So it took me 14 weeks, and I finally know everybody's name. So but it's really been a great pleasure to teach you, to work with you, and I hope I fulfilled my pledge of telling you 14 weeks ago that when this class is over, you are going to be able to start your own business, that you'd have the knowledge, the wherewithal, hopefully the confidence, the vote of confidence of your fellow students and teammates, and the interacting and working with all the speakers, that it gave you the confidence to know that you can do it. So I'd be remiss without introducing you to some important people that are sitting here today. First guy that I'd like to introduce you to is my dad, Joe Leibowitz. Can we have a round of applause for Joe? Joe started out his career in Brooklyn, like all of us, down in the Williamsburg area. He only regrets holding on to that apartment that he was paying $25 a month rent for, and moving on to other places. Who would know that Williamsburg would become the hottest area in Brooklyn? So besides growing up in Brooklyn, my dad was a World War II vet, a decorated vet, worked with the famous George Patton in the Battle of the Bulge. So let's hear it once more for Joe. So when Joe became a police officer, when he returned back from the war, he decided that he was going to go into the flea market business to help supplement his income, because me and my brother had healthy appetites. I understand we would eat 10 pounds of potatoes like on a weekly basis. So he needed some way to support that. So he would take me out to the flea markets when I was 14 years old, selling the same jewelry that we all sold on campus this semester. And it was really my first love, my first taste of the money, because he was a very generous dad on top of that, okay? He would let me keep the money, not pay me $3 an hour, which was minimum wage. He'd give me $60, $70, $80 for the day just to get me fired up, and fired up it did. Okay, 35 years later, after leaving Brooklyn College and having the great success, but knowing that it takes those rainy days, that hustling from the car that you all did, the taking of the box 4 blocks today. Okay, luckily I work out, but walking 4 blocks with this is what it takes. It's nothing magical. I wish I could say it was really magical, but it's really not. You know, Lexus emailed me this morning, as he does almost every day, and he says to me, what is the correlation between entrepreneurs? He said, I remember you saying that entrepreneurship is on the decline. And he was the first person in the class to say, why is that actually happening? Anybody like to guess why that's happening? You would think that's a thing. It's actually much more fundamental and rudimentary than that. When the unemployment rate is going down, people don't need to work so hard to try to be an entrepreneur and start their own ISIS stand, because they're working. And if they want 2 jobs, they can get 2 jobs. So it has a correlation to do with the unemployment rate, why America is booming. The stock market's booming, everything is booming. So, you know, it's easy to be an entrepreneur in this market. But a lot of people say, why should I do it? I'll get a nice job with an accounting firm, making $80,000 a year, or I'll go to law school, or do things like that. I mean, we all learn that that's not really the route to go. I'd also like to introduce you to my mom, Shirley, sitting over here. I won't bore you why they make the greatest team ever, besides all their ballroom dancing and all the other great things they've done. My dad for almost 92 years, and for my mom only almost 87 years. Okay, so that kind of love and lasting is by doing things, by getting active with your family and the love of the grandchildren and making it happen. That's the best medicine in the world, you know. So my mom became a ferocious salesperson at these flea markets and taught me and the host of other salespeople how to sell. I mean, you want somebody to really sell your merchandise? My mom is the gal out there to do it. And you've met my beautiful wife, Sarah, this semester. Let's hear it for Sarah. Who we met in Brooklyn College in accounting class 30 some odd years ago, probably this week, as we graduate. And my kids, Richard and Rebecca, are here today with us. Let's hear it for Richard and Rebecca. Richard, being a businessman in his own right, some of you may have heard the story that Richard invented the New York City celebrity map about 6 years ago after going to California with me on a business trip. He says, how come no one is doing this in New York? I said, the only thing I could think about why they wouldn't do it is why would people want to look up at these big buildings and say, hey, Madonna lives up there. It's not like going to the big mansions in Beverly Hills and saying, hey, this is where Madonna lives, okay? This is where Angelina Jolie did. But he did it successfully, not only by hawking with me. We went out on the coldest Christmas day ever, Christmas Eve, must have been 2006 or 7, and we're standing there, and I said, I'm going to show you how to make the first sale. And I opened up the table, and wouldn't you believe it, 10 seconds later, guy came over and bought a map for $10. I said, wow. I said, I think either you have the greatest thing, either we are the luckiest guys ever, or you have the luckiest thing ever. And he had a great idea, putting these star maps on consignment in all of the tourist stores. Okay, all the souvenir shops, and he was very aggressive in Penn Station and things like that. And the business went pretty well, and then he ended up going to law school, and he really couldn't run both things at the same time, but not before hooking up with a tour business who he gave the map business to, and they were going to take them to see the big buildings on a tour around New York City. So that was Richard's idea. Rebecca is a budding first-year law school, just finished her first year, and is a publisher of a couple of children's books, which she sells on Amazon. My co-founder, Professor Hervé Cano, is here with us today. Hervé had the faith and insight to say, hey, this sounds like a wild idea. I never had an alumni come back and say he wants to start a program and actually teach it from scratch, and really gave it a shot over a lot of reluctance on the administration to actually do this. Talking about administration, we have the great Katie Schlesinger here today, Vice President of our administration. And just a thank you to Sam, our videographer, who's done a great job. And why do I tape all these classes? I tape them because I want the students to be able to go back year after year and not only see themselves and how they improved in their lectures, but to see all the guest speakers. You saw Jerome Hayden, that was so wired up to meet Anthony Scaramucci. If anybody watched that videotape, Anthony's really a wired guy, and he runs his own show on television, Wall Street Week, and he's a very connected and very good friend of mine. You know, so Jerome did so well, impressed Anthony, gave him a job right there on the spot. And that's what this program is about, networking, finding jobs, finding things, you know. The world's small, you know, the world is small. With that being said, I'm going to introduce you to a former student from last year who actually took this course, took my advice, and went out and started her own business. So let's hear it for Diane Davis. Could you come up here, Diane?
Hi, everyone. I just want to let you guys know that this course was very, very helpful in me starting my company. I actually launched in October of last year my natural lip line. And I had the idea, and when I took the course, I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it or what I wanted to do with it, but I knew I wanted to do something with lip products. And so many things that the professor said stuck with me. He said that you can take something and put your own twist on it. So that's what I decided to do. So now I actually launched a natural lip care line, and it's customizable. I allow people to build their own products. and I do customized favors for events, which has actually been taking off, and I've been doing really well. But I don't know if I would have been able to do this if it wasn't for this course. Some people said they saw me in the video last year. You would leave work, come here, take the course, go back to work, because I was determined to allow this to help me to grow, because I knew that I wanted to step out on faith, and I knew I wanted to start my own business. And I will tell everyone here, everything that you've learned, take it in, use it, process it, use it to your advantage, because it's invaluable information. A little bit about me: single mother, 3 kids. I said that I definitely didn't want to just work a 9-to-5 all my life. I did want to do something else, and I decided to start my own company. I plan to fire my boss soon, because the workload is so much, because I'm still a student, working full time, processing orders, and a mother. So I'm gonna have to start to make decisions, but that's a good problem to have. So I just I emailed the professor to let him know that I launched my company. He asked me to come back and speak to you guys today to let you guys know that don't take it lightly. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, definitely go after it. Don't let anything or anybody stop you. We are our biggest obstacles, because I was second guessing myself a lot. Even when I started the company, I still started second guessing myself, but it's been going really great. There's always room for improvement, always room for growth. Never think that you're at a point where you don't need to grow or learn anymore, because I'm always ready to learn. I'm always ready to take constructive criticism, and that's what's going to allow me to push my business to the next level. So I just want to congratulate everybody, and if anybody wants my information, we could definitely talk, because I don't mind sharing any information that I was blessed with. Thank you.
Thank you, Dion. It's always great to see students when I come back here, or I'm walking in Manhattan, or I'm at an event or in a restaurant. I mean, after almost 10 years and 200 students and other people, and just selling on the campus, how many people recognize you over the years. It's a really interesting, great feeling when people come back and you had just a little bit something to do with their career. And that's why I came back, one student at a time. It's very difficult. People have said to me over the years, why are you not doing this online? Are you crazy or something? I mean, you could charge $1,000 per student, and you'd probably have thousands of students signing up online. You could do your lectures, you can intermingle the homeworks, you can have a whole huge flea market. You can do this. But, I've been very reticent of moving forward with that idea, because this is a personalized, hand-holding, one-on-one situation. After 14 weeks, I know you from your homeworks. I know you from your selling days. I know who's the risk takers in here, who set up the table, who saw the rain. The rain wipes out business, but we still did business, okay? But boy, you have to work a lot harder in the rain, don't you? So it's always great to see that. It's exciting to see the students. I just started looking up in LinkedIn a lot of the former students. Now that you're graduating, I have no problem linking people in. I just tell my students beforehand, I'm not sure if you're even going to make it through this program. So yeah, they link me in the first day, and they think, why didn't I link them in? Well, hey, that's the reason why. I want to see who you are first, and then I have no problem doing that. I want to do a little shout out to the Magna Center, because the Magna Center doesn't get as much credit as it really deserves. It's a great place to find your first internship. Last week, they had the Brooklyn College Gala, which featured one of their illustrious alumni, Mr. Don Buchwald. Don is Howard Stern's agent, amongst other very famous celebrity, graduate of Brooklyn College, guy who gives back his time all the time, not only with his pocketbook, but giving jobs and internships to students, priceless internships that you wouldn't get. So take advantage of the Magna Center as much as you can, because they're looking for the brightest students, and the people that are reaching out, guys like Marty Sass, another brilliant hedge fund guys, he's looking for the brightest students. So if we can give them a little heads up, they greatly appreciate that as well. Okay. So I guess we're up to the point now where we're going to hear from you. And I could say after 35 years in business and trials, tribulations, and errors and things that I'm able to teach you to shortcut, because if you learned anything in this class, you learn that mistakes are going to happen, and you're going to want to learn from them, and you want them to happen as soon as possible, okay? Not after you've spent a few $1,000,000. You want to happen while you're proving your concept. And if you take anything away from this class, it must be you must prove your concept first. Don't think you're smarter than you are. I never trust myself. In business, I try everything in a test first, see if it works. If it works, then I slam down the money. We talked about The Illusionist, the movie, the opening weekend. It could have bombed. I mean, just as easily bombed, but we saw there were lines around the block. That's your cue. That's your indicator to pump money into marketing and advertising of that movie. Okay, same thing you saw it with Hamilton. Exciting to sit here. In 2 weeks, we're going to see how many of your professors' shows won Tony Awards. It's exciting stuff. Hamilton may just break every award in Broadway's history, you know, from a show that most people don't understand the lyrics that go in and see it. Okay, I read an editorial recently about it. They said that people are walking out of there, they don't know why they like it. They like it. The hype is even greater than the show. Okay, when I see these 75-year-old people, I said, could you tell me what the opening, you know, lyrics of Hamilton were? No. I said, son of a bastard and a whore. You didn't hear any of that in the opening line? No, didn't hear anything. But it's the best show I ever saw. Okay. Sometimes the momentum and the hype can really take you a long way. Okay, it's taken a lot of celebrities a long way with very little talent and made lots and lots of movies and money, and certainly the reality TV series that we see today. It's just dumbfounding. It's amazing. But you're graduating at one of the greatest times, you know, in history, because the world truly is flat. You could do business now in China and in other countries just as seamlessly as you can in New York. So that opens your market to billions of customers. I mean, when I started out, you know, we had maybe New York, maybe a little bit of the Jersey tri-state area until I expanded out. But for the most part, you know, whether you're in the real estate business, you can't be worldwide. You know, you can. It takes a lot of money. But now you could sell your goods, your services, you know, all over the world. And it's a really exciting time. So I salute all of you. Let's have a round of applause for all of you. Without you, you know, this program wouldn't succeed, and it's really wonderful to watch the love that you've all shown your fellow students. I mean, in reading your homeworks and reading your final exams and just watching how you teamed up and weren't afraid to ask questions to each other. It's really a fabulous thing to see. Okay, our first speaker today is going to be a future live broadcaster, we hope, and hopefully you're going to see her on television. Let's hear it for Megan.
Okay, hi everyone. First of all, I just want to thank you, Professor Leibovitz, for this whole experience, this program, and not only for sharing your knowledge with me and with everyone else, but for also introducing us to amazing guest speakers and planning a buying trip and organizing selling days on campus. And I've learned a lot here, and I'm really happy to end my last semester here at Brooklyn College with probably the best program or class that this school has to offer. And this program has taught me everything from fine-tuning my idea and naming a business to financing and writing a business plan. All of which will be very helpful on my journey to becoming a successful entrepreneur. But I must say that the most significant thing I've taken away from this program is probably to believe in myself and my abilities and my ideas. Because without confidence or courage, an idea will just remain a concept, and it will never see the light of day. In one of our first lectures, a professor asked us if we were risk takers. And I have to admit that I didn't really identify as a risk taker at that very moment. But through this course, I've learned that as an entrepreneur, you will have to face many challenges and fears like failure, risk, financial insecurity, to name a few. But with confidence in my own abilities, it's possible to overcome these obstacles and reach my goals. On that note, I want to explain to you why you should invest in me and my future business ventures. As you know, I'm specialized in and passionate about digital media and communication, which I think is the future of businesses and the world in general. And since I'm not from the US, I think I bring a fresh perspective on ideas as well as an open-mindedness and adaptability to new situations and environments. But most of all, I'm curious, hardworking, and creative, which are traits of who I am and my personality. I know that entrepreneurship is so much more than having an idea. It's dedication, hard work, and a lifestyle. And with the confidence I've gained through this program, I can without a doubt say that I have what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is a young man who's very interesting. He came here from Syria not too long ago and has certainly impressed the class with his amazing ideas and his persistence, his focus, to focus on one idea and take it, to the nth degree. It's happy to have Hassan in the class.
Well, it's graduation here, and it's graduation June 2nd. I've come a long way. I don't know. I got to the U.S. 4 years ago, and from Syria, and I didn't know what to expect from New York or from myself, actually. So I just landed there, and I was dropped. So I took all the challenges. I came here with a plan, and I came with a dream. My dream was to get my education, enjoy college, enjoy the American values, the life, everything about it, and then take everything that I've learned and apply it in my own company or my own plan. But little do I know, that whole plan flew outside the window because stuff happened where I come from, and it wasn't too promising to me, so I had to come up with a new plan. And I used to lay in bed every night and would think to myself, I have nothing to back me up. I have nothing to actually enjoy. I have nothing to help me. So there's nothing that can bring you down more than that. So I looked at myself and I saw that New York in itself is an opportunity. And I'm blessed, actually, to be in New York. And it's a very big opportunity, and we're all very, very blessed to be in this place. So now I'm just looking at myself and I'm thinking, it's a chance for me. It's a chance to become something bigger and probably better. I don't know. So it's definitely very helpful to be in the Leibowitz Entrepreneur Program. Not helpful, I'm sorry. It's graceful. It's because once we're in that program, TED gives you all the tools to ensure that you can use those tools to make your dreams a true moneymaker. And for me, a person that is coming from abroad, I needed those tools. I needed them because I wanted to know how I can become what I want to become in a place that I'm like a newborn in, but I'm 19 years old. I'm not newborn. I have to figure everything out just like you were born with it. I'm not. So what I've gotten from this class, or what the quote that sparkled my mind, is that the entrepreneur is not made by himself. He's made by the people around him. TED is definitely going to be a factor if I ever make it, hopefully. is definitely, he's going to be my number one go-to to actually speak about the business, all the passion that I have to actually start that business, because I'm jumping right into it right after I graduate. So June 2nd, June 15th, I'm meeting with my partner and I'm jumping right into my business. And I hope I could get rounds of investments. And well, it's a long way. 4 years. If I look back right now, and I would say today would be the best day in my life, because I didn't think that I could be so thankful to be in a program like this in New York, from Syria, meeting Ted Leibowitz, the great investor on Broadway. It's a great chance for everyone. So I just want to say that we're all thankful, and thank you so much for the Leibowitz family. But before, why should you invest in my business? I believe we all... Yes. Be careful, I'm not done. Why should you invest in my business? I honestly believe we all deserve a shot. Passion, we all have it. You're all motivating individuals. You've brought value to this program, and Ted wouldn't have said it better. But as my business, I have connections, and I have the experience in the shipping world, because that's what I do, and that's what I'm used to do, and I'm so focused on it. And with your money, I can make us both rich. It's not only me. So, connections, yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah, it is quite remarkable, though, when I see the stories, I hear the stories of people being dropped into this country and that go on and to figure it out. There's always some mentor. There's always some story behind the story, and it's great to really hear that the painstakingness of taking a textbook like I wrote and to try to make it into English, so that it's not so difficult for everybody to understand, because I say over and over, business is not so difficult. You got to see a little dose of it, but if you just have the fundamentals down, that's the whole key. So we certainly wish you the best. Our next speaker is going to be Tiffany. Tiffany.
Hi. So I think I came into this class wanting to be just a little weird, just so I can stand out and be different. I presented on my marvelous idea of a meditation palace, and the professor asks, so how are we gonna make some money off of this? And that's when I knew I had to deviate my business idea and make it just a bit more practical. And that's how Bayless is born. That pressure is what ignited the flame of my passion and unleashed a hidden potential. I would compare that pressure into the process that a diamond undergoes, or in this case, gemstones and crystals. One thing I'm taking away from this class is when you have an idea, to really see it through and develop it as much as possible. We all received really valuable and precious knowledge, and it's up to us with what we're going to do with it. I really appreciated all the guest speakers we had. They candidly shared their best advice, and not only that, but like their mistakes and their struggles. I think I should receive an investment because I'm an honest businesswoman. I know what it takes to be successful and find the resources for everything that I need. I'm a person of growth and adaptability. And like you said, every year the program is different. And a person needs to keep up with a growth mindset. And like I stated in my application, if you choose me, if you accept me into this program, you're helping create an unstoppable entrepreneur. And I feel that this program equipped me with that knowledge to be unstoppable with my potential. So thank you.
I would agree, Tiffany. You are unstoppable. You know, when I saw you selling your own merchandise that day, it's very impressive when you risk your own money on campus, and because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you're taking my word for it that thousands of kids are going to come out, and that we're going to have a beautiful sunny day. Well, guess what? We didn't have a beautiful sunny day. It was pouring. We were drenched. I had minor pneumonia when I got home. You know, it was like, you know, why do I do this? You know, I love it. I love it when it rains because, you know, everyone should know that it's not always a sunny day in Brooklyn. Or is that Philadelphia? Right there, Philadelphia. Okay, next we're going to hear from Stephen Meltzer. Steve.
So I had a whole speech prepared. I'm kind of going to deviate from it because I don't want to be reading from my phone. But first of all, I'd like to thank Professor Leibowitz for this honor. To be completely honest, coming into the program, I didn't know what it was going to give me. I started my company 3 months prior to being accepted into the program and starting the program, and I kind of just thought, oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be matching up with everything that I'm doing and pushing forward in my business. But this program pushed me further than I even expected. It taught me how to raise capital and secure contracts, and it grew my business faster than I imagined it would be in a matter of a semester. Aside from just what this program has done for me, it's what it's done for all of us. We've learned it's not just the money, it's not just the idea, it's about the people that you meet. The people in this class are most likely going to end up partnering and going on business ventures together, hopefully with your investment. And Professor Leibowitz has definitely opened my eyes to what there is possible in this world. We've heard from past graduates as well as very prominent business owners, as well as hearing all of your stories from going and owning flea market stands to 1-800 numbers, and then learning the most important lesson of timing, where you get it at the right time, you hop on the internet, and you just keep going. So, to be honest, to get to the investment part, because everyone loves that part, I think your education has pushed me to a point where my company doesn't need an investment, to be honest. So I would like to offer you a seat on my board of advisors if you would like to be. And hopefully in the future we can work together on something else.
Sounds great. Right on. One of a kind, no doubt. Haven't heard that before, but it's wonderful. And listen, we all knew Stephen came into this class, he had an active business. You know, he was a businessman already. A lot of you work, you have second jobs. It's very admirable. When I hear the stories, people working 40 hours, coming to school, just reading my 40 pages a week. I don't know where you find time to do all that. So it's really a shining star when I see it, and then I get the work that's being done. You know, that's all that's necessary that's going to do it. So Stephen came in with an active business. I'm glad that I was able to help him and open up his world of thinking, because that's what this is all about. Okay, our next speaker is going to be Shimon. Let's hear it for Shimon.
I want to start by thanking Mr. Ted for giving me a chance to be in this class. It was totally amazing. I never know how to start a business. I started thinking about it being in this class. Actually, Mr. Ted would give us homeworks. We would do the homeworks and think about like what would be our business structure, what would be our capital, how would we capitalize our business. So all these things came one after another, and we started, I actually started getting the idea of starting my own business. I always wanted to own a restaurant for myself, because I'm really passionate about food and serving foods and stuff. So my dream was to open up a Mediterranean restaurant with like South Asian fusion. I actually started like building it from the scratch after being in this class, and came to a conclusion where I can like look up to somewhere and say, oh, I know what I'm gonna do in future. Actually, I wouldn't have known marketing strategy any better, or hiring how to or supervising people if I wasn't assigned in this course before or now. All right. So I'll keep it short, and I'll go in the conclusion. Why should Mr. Tad someone else would invest in my business? Firstly, because my restaurant is named Kebab and Shake, which doesn't take much of capital, or like it only needs about like 40 to 60,000 to start. The business concept is very simple, which is good quality products in less for students, people like us. Doesn't need too much effort. It's easy to manage by myself. I only work full-time, sometimes part-time, so I could put more time in my business and work hard and motivate my employees and let them get the most out of them. Secondly, if everything goes according to the plan, gross profit will be about 60 to 65% of the products, which will give about like 6,500 per month. But if me and Mr. Tad link up and open up like let's say 10 restaurant, we would make about 65,000 a month, which is a big number actually, and it's very positive to a beginner like us. Finally, I learned how to like market our products from this class. I would definitely take this with me in future. I'll use social medias like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, emails, everything, whatever possible, Google Ads, to make it a brand. Once people know about our business, that's it. It will go everywhere. It's gonna become a brand, and people will come back, people will share, and we will get all the support we needed. That's all about it, and I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to wish you all the best, and it was a great adventure. Thanks.
Thank you. Well said. I'm glad you have our profit all done and and the whole thing. Boy, that's great. Listen, Shake Shack did it, and you're using the name Shack. How could you go wrong with that? All right. Next person we're going to hear from is Jordan Bernard. Let's hear for Jordan.
Just want to start off by saying thank you for everyone who came here today. As you guys know, I'm not the best public speaker, so I'll try to not completely rely on the speech I have here for me, but so I'll deviate a little bit. I remember being very excited for the opportunity to apply to the Leibowitz Entrepreneur Program, and even more eager, but yet surprised that I was accepted. I felt so special. Although I've had plenty of experience when it comes to retail and management, I had no real experience or knowledge of what it is to be an entrepreneur or how to even become one. I didn't even know what I didn't even know or have an idea of what business I would be interested in creating. As an assistant manager at my old job at Cole Haan, I always had so many ideas for the company. I always would joke around with my other managers saying I had a whole list of things I wanted to change, and I'm going to add that to my list. So I always figured, if I was to create my own business, that I would do very well at it, and I would know how to treat my employees. As a transfer student, all I knew was that I wanted to gain as much information and experience as possible from this school, and to use what I learned in my future career endeavors as a businesswoman. Mr. Leibowitz in this class did not disappoint me. Every day I have left this class inspired, which is honestly a rare feeling for me in school. I have learned that it is okay and normal for me to have weaknesses as a future entrepreneur, and that reaching out for help or seeking advice from other business owners is one of the best actions that can lead you to success. I have also gained new connections and friendships where we can support each other. I'm beyond grateful that I've had this experience at Brooklyn College, as it has opened my eyes to new and better opportunities for my business future. It has truly been a privilege to be among such a wonderful class and professors who are just as passionate as I am to be a successful business leader. Today is really bittersweet. Why should you invest in me, Mr. Leibowitz? Although my coffee shop plan isn't complete yet, I strongly believe that it will be a hit on Long Island, especially in the Hamptons. I work extremely hard for what I want once I have my mind set, and I'm flexible as well as committed. When something isn't working out, I'll always find a solution. Thank you for giving back to us in this college. Your time here will never be taken for granted.
So our second sales person, along with Tiffany, that day on campus. It was great to see that, and great to see the sharp eye of products that you brought out being sold, and quite innovative, I must say. So thanks for you two guys for doing that. It was great. Okay, next we're going to hear from Tzvi. Let's hear for Tzvi.
All right, so first I want to thank Ted. It was a privilege to be in this program. Thank you to all my fellow students. I've learned a lot from all of you and the administration. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. While everyone dreams of running their own business, it takes the Ted Leibowitz Entrepreneurship Program to talk you out of it, or into it. We like to associate running one's own business with freedom, high income, and display of accomplishment. But this program has taught me to truly balance those attributes with the risks of running a business. It has taught me that failing is equally as important as succeeding, and good outlook is as crucial as investment funding. Speaking of outlook, if I had to pick one thing in particular that I can take and stood out for me in this program, it would be the optimism that Professor Leibowitz projects to the class and the confidence. He has a keen understanding of people and what makes them tick. You can have a great idea, funding, top education, but if you don't believe in your product, you're doomed from the start. The reason you should invest in my company, for one, is because I took the Ted Leibowitz Entrepreneurship Program, as well as because I have a lot to offer. My company will run just as your program did, a confident and optimistic approach we will be using. My company will also be built on service, quality, and most importantly, honesty. With these characteristics, along with the proven track record I provide in successful management, I hope you will consider investing in what will be the best thing to happen in ink since the printing press. True freedom of press.
Very clever play of words, Tzvi. It's great to meet you. It's great to meet Tzvi's wife, both of them going to Brooklyn College while raising a couple of kids and working full-time. Really admirable stuff, I have to tell you. Okay, the next speaker we're going to have is in the real estate business. He came into this class, really psyched me up and psyched the rest of the class with his forefront statement saying, I'm not buying in Manhattan where everybody else is. I'm buying in the Bronx, because the Bronx is the hot new area. So let's hear it for Devendra.
First of all, I want to thank Professor Leibowitz. Oh. Sorry, it's the camera. So, first off, I want to thank Professor Leibowitz. It's been a great opportunity. I've learned a lot. It's definitely been unique. The Leibowitz Entrepreneurship Program, man, the name is cool. When you go around campus saying, oh, I'm part of the Leibowitz Entrepreneurship Program, people stop and ask, wow, what the hell is that?
Is this a stand-up gig? If it is, I like it.
It's, cool is a good word to use because it's what we're all here for. We all want to be entrepreneurs. We all want what comes with it. We all want to be the next, maybe TED 2.0. Who knows? But, sorry about that. I had a speech prepared, and to be honest, there's only so much you can say about the program. Things over, thank you, Professor Liebowitz, for coming back to Brooklyn College and really looking out for the students here. That's what I feel is one of the most important things that you do for this college and for everyone here. Going back, there's a lot of times that I couldn't have been at Brooklyn College. I could have been in Florida, in Pennsylvania, somewhere else. But you know, something just kept telling me to say, stay in your city, and do what you have to do here. You know, what I've learned from the program are a lot of different things. Professor Liebowitz, you know, I came in as a real estate agent, and that's a hard business to be in, man. That is it's tough. You get knocked down a lot, and you always got to power through. A lot of things I learned in the class have really helped me with my business, you know. More marketing plans. I learned more about having to use the internet. You know, sadly, Devindra.com was taken. You can all look for Devindra.net in a couple weeks. It'll be up. If you need any rooms, apartments. I'm not going to use too much of my time to advertise myself. You know, behind the selling day, my favorite part of the program was the guest speakers we had in every class. They really taught us a lot. You know, the Entrepreneur's Playbook, great book, a lot of helpful advice. And while that taught us all the basics of what we need to start our business, I think what we learned from our guest speakers was the most important thing. I'd like to cite a couple of them. One of my favorites was Jack Castle. Jack came in inheriting a family business, and what I learned from him is that you can inherit a business, that business could have been run for years, but beyond that, you're going to face new problems as the world changes, as the business changes, as you need to adapt. Entrepreneurs need to be adaptable. They need to be able to take the heat. From Richard, I learned that you can diversify. He's got a pasta company. He's got tutoring service. And he also taught me that you're not going to have it easy. You're going to go through hard winters, hard days, hard nights. But at the end, you're going to make it, and it's going to be worth it. Jerome, the alum of the program from last year, one of my favorite, because you know I saw Jerome walking around on campus. I think I even had a class with him. And to see him come into the classroom, stand up, and I think he said he works for Skybridge, I sat there and was like, wow. I sat next to this guy how many years ago? Who knows he would come back and see what he did now. You know, I spend a lot of time on this campus, and I see a lot of you around. I've noticed faces. But to have us all gathered in one room has been great. It's nice to be in a room full of entrepreneurs, the future entrepreneurs, and some present entrepreneurs, and know that that's what we're looking forward to. It's been refreshing. The environment has been something to stimulate all of us and push us further. So, to wrap it up, I don't want to go on too long, why you should invest in my business. Beyond my selling point that the Bronx is the hottest place, it's blowing up, is that, well, one, as we all know, there's money to be made in New York City. That's why we're all here. Why not let the New Yorkers make it? And two, investing in my business is investing in me. You know, when I write my autobiography someday, I'm going to dedicate a chapter to you, Ted. You're investing in someone who's hardworking, dedicated, flexible, and able to take the heat. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you all.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. He's writing his memoirs already. That's a successful, confident guy. He's dedicating his memoirs to me down the line. Okay. I'll take you up on that, all right, when you have that big hedge fund. Okay. Good stuff. All right. Next, we're going to hear from Alexis. Alexis.
So all my life, I really wanted to be an entrepreneur. So when I heard about this program, I was quickly to sign up for it. And I'm glad that I did. From this class, I learned that starting a business is not easy at all. I may fail, but that does not mean I should give up. I've been trying to start my business for the past couple of years, but I always was surrounded by negative people, negative mindsets, and that kind of made me fall back a little bit from my dream. But coming to this class has shown me to never give up. Many people want to start a business, but they don't have the proper knowledge. But from this class, I learned most of the stuff that I need to know to start my business. Attending this class has taught me to take risks, learn to be different, be organized, and to never give up. I believe you should invest in me because I'm a very dedicated individual. I have been working on my craft for the past 10 years, and I have a strong passion for it. I have acquired licenses and certificates to make me an expert in my field. I have been a customer in my field for a couple of years, so I know what the people want and what they're looking for. I have already started my website and social media, and I'm ready to get the ball rolling. But most importantly, I'm not doing this business just for myself. I want to give back to women and help people who have severe hair loss or suffer from problems. The hair business is a billion-dollar business, and I would hate for you to miss out on it. With your knowledge and guidance, we can start a successful business together. So I want to say thank you for everything.
Thank you so much. How many of you think that the Mary Kay or Avon model for hair would work, just by a show of hands? Okay, I do too. I think it's something that's not been done before, and Alexis should look at that as a model, maybe even meeting with Diane, who started her own business, as a spin-off model. She's doing the makeup. You could do the hair. It's such a natural idea. You bring her into a business she knows nothing about, and you get to get into her business. So that networking, I think, is quite good. Okay, next we're going to hear from Junior. Junior.
Wow. Good evening, everybody. I don't want to sound too generic, but I'm just going to have to thank you from the beginning because, I mean, your insight, your everything, your hindsight, everything you gave us was influential, was motivational. You being from Brooklyn, as it just shows me that you could, overcome adversity and whatnot, and you could actually make it. I'm a firm believer in learning, and for you to learn, I think you have to tediously, read on a certain subject, and I believe this entrepreneurship program exemplified that because he had us reading chapters every week and doing assignments every week, and I'm really thankful for that. In addition to that, I'm actually really appreciative of all my classmates because every time you guys would present something, I would go home and say, why didn't I think of that? Seriously, realistically speaking, even Megan, how I did on the applications, I went home and applications not my area of expertise, but I figured, how could I even incorporate that part of my idea to, further, foster growth in my business or whatnot. And yes, so I'm really appreciative of everybody, classmates, all the way to Ted Leibowitz. And now to the part of you investing in my business, I figured you should invest in my business as soon as I asked everybody, name 5 different food trucks, and everybody was completely oblivious to the food truck industry. It's a $1 billion industry. Nobody actually knows any brand names. I feel like that's an aspect that I can exploit. And in addition to that, I feel like if I do exploit it correctly, I believe I could be kind of like the McDonald's of food truck. My name will be basically, pervasive throughout New York City, and we could definitely go somewhere with that. So, thank you once again.
I'll tell you, I really like that idea. We talked about it over the last few weeks. How many of you have ever seen, and could you think of in your wildest imagination why Taco Bell doesn't have food trucks in areas all over the country? I mean, or Subway has 5,000 stores, and for that matter, McDonald's. Their franchisees have certain locations, certain areas. They should be able to buy food trucks and bring it down to the beach and sell it that way before somebody eats their lunch, by the way. Okay? As we've seen, the people on the original Dow 30, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, there's only one company left out of the 30. That's General Electric. So the other 29 went away. Okay, so you're in trouble when you start to believe your own bullshit. I can tell you that right now, okay? That you're invincible. No one's invincible. The competition's breathing down your neck constantly, okay? So you always have to stay ahead of the game. Okay, and with that being said, we talked about reading. Okay, I'm a really big believer on reading, and reading people that are smarter than you, okay, or at least perceived smarter than you. On the way today, I was watching TV this morning, and they were talking about Bill Gates' summer reading material. Bill Gates is a guy I really admire. I mean, not only did he make a fortune for Microsoft in a time when things were really coming, but the guy became the greatest philanthropist in history. By far, not even close, okay? Because he set up that Gates Foundation, and not only did he donate his own 70 billion, his real 70 billion, not the Trump 70 billion, the real 70, he got all his fellow billionaires like Michael Bloomberg and Warren Buffett to sign up. That was very impressive. So collectively, they're going to donate $1 trillion of their fortunes to help mankind. And that's really admirable. So Bill Gates' 5 books, you should jot this down on your phone. Go to gatesnotes.com. Gatesnotes.com, and here's his 5 books. The one I'm going to read immediately, and it's the one I keep talking about, The Math is Never Wrong. Math is your best friend in business. Be good in math. So How Not to Be Wrong by Jordan Ellenberg. Ellenberg's a mathematician and writer and explains how math plays into the daily lives without you even knowing about it. Each chapter starts with a subject that seems fairly straightforward, electoral politics or the Massachusetts lottery, and then uses it as a jump starting point to talk about the math involved in each of these things. So go look at that. See if you could read one of his books during the summer, and never stop reading. I do at least an hour a day. So when you want to know, you've asked me all, what's your exact minute by minute? It changes every day. But I can tell you, I read at least an hour a day. And it'll jump from the Times to the Wall Street Journal, the different business things that I'm looking at. But I force myself to read at least an hour a day. Okay, next we're going to hear from the Dim Sum King, Ryan Fahey. Ryan.
So first off, I'd like to thank Professor Leibowitz for giving me the opportunity to take this program. It's been a huge help in teaching me how to actually start a business. For the first couple of weeks, I wasn't really sure if I belonged in this class. I was a bit younger than most of the other students, and many of the other students seem to have a lot more going on. Many of you guys started your own businesses already or had things in the works, and I was just standing there. I've never seriously thought of any idea that I've ever had to actually be able to start it. And I felt like I was lacking in experience at first, but after taking this course and being able to listen to Ted speak every class, conversating with all you guys, being able to listen to all the guest speakers, I feel like I've gained the confidence to know that everyone started in the same place. Everyone started at the bottom, but you just have to put in the work to get yourself off the ground. And in the future, about the whole investing in my business, I don't really have a business plan per se right now, but I wouldn't come with you anything less than a sound business plan, knowing about my competition, knowing the location, and knowing the logistics about the business. But one thing I would like to stand out about me is my work ethic. I work full-time, go to school full-time, so it's real hard to do a lot of things extracurricular. But when I am passionate about what I'm doing, I will put in the work it takes to succeed.
I still love dim sum trucks, I tell you. I'm sure it'll be out there someday. Right next to Junior's Tacos trucks. We'll have dim sum. Smorgasburg will never be the same with your 2 trucks coming in. Okay, next we're going to hear from Aaron Roswell. Aaron.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can everyone hear me clearly? Okay. So, I have a quote that I'd like to speak on. It's by a person by the name of Brian Herbert. And it goes, "The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. But the willingness to learn is a choice." And what I take from that, I feel like learning, the ability to learn is very important. And initially, when I first was accepted into this fellowship, I was kind of skeptical, which I feel like, all of us probably were. And I learned so much. I learned so much in this fellowship, way more than I can remember at this point. But I've learned to push myself even harder than I used to before. And I also learned to take, not fear failure, but to take it as a stepping stone to success. and to know that, you know what, I might not accomplish what I thought I would have at my first time trying something, but I know that it's success. It's coming. It's coming. I just have to keep being persistent, have to being determined, and I have to make sure I invest in the right things. Initially, I came into this program being, okay, I know I'm a songwriter, I know I'm a lyricist, but what can I do as far as business? Like, that's just a skill that's innate within me. How can I capitalize off of that skill that I have? So I feel like without this entire program, I especially loved the videos that you allowed us to watch. I feel like that was the most important thing that you could have done for us, in my opinion, because it showed us that a lot of people, it doesn't matter in what business field we're in, because we're all in different fields of business, it didn't matter. I felt like that was something that really resonated with me, because I feel like with my songwriting career, like I can really make things happen with artists, with singers, with underground rappers, as we spoke before. Not everyone in the music industry writes their own music. So I feel like my skill would, be something that's very beneficial for a lot of people in the music industry. And in addition to that, as far as why I feel like you should support my business or if we can even be partners, I feel like I'm really not much of a talker. I'm more about the action. So I really feel like together we can really make things happen. We're similar, but we're also different in a lot of ways. So I feel like we'd be able to complement one another. And that's how I feel, and I appreciate you.
Wish you lots of luck. I'm sure you're going to be very successful. And we missed you with your aunt last week, hustling and selling. Oh, straight. Your aunt was the original hustler. If I ever ran into someone like her, man, she was old school. She did it great. Okay, next we're going to hear from Mike Taddeo. Mike.
I have a speech, but I'm going to deviate a little bit. So pretty much, I've always kind of wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I saw this program, and I was also recommended by my friend who took it last year. So I figured, why not give it a shot? Because I believe that there's always more to learn. And if you have the opportunity to learn, take advantage of it. So what I got from this program is being assured that I am on the right track, along with knowledge to better myself on this path. Some of which is to get feedback, which is important to improve what you offer to your market. Along with, don't spend too much time planning, as things may deviate from the plan, but plan as you go. Why you should invest in me is because I'd rather die than to work for the rest of my life building someone else's dreams. Instead of my own. As you can see from this semester, I am not only about one business idea, but rather diversification of many, to create multiple sources of income. So that if one does not work out, there will always be another. My mind is always working, spinning out new ideas every day, sometimes acted upon right away, sometimes saved for later on. I can predict the trend and what will be the next thing to take off and make money. The current business I'm working on is a beverage company, specifically for tea. You should invest in me because I know I can know absolutely nothing about something or how to do it, but I will teach myself everything there is to know about the matter, to the extent that it will seem like it was my life's work. My entrepreneur venture started when I was a child, from lemonade stands to selling sneakers from my grandfather's old store after he passed away. And then after that, my most recent venture was a mobile food venture, which I started up last summer, and currently my beverage line. Throughout these years, I have learned how to become a better entrepreneur, and that I can be knocked down 100 times, but no matter what, I will get back up and try again and do what needs to be done to make my business a success, and that is why you should invest in me. And thank you, Professor L, for taking your time to teach the class while also offering your experience and advice. Best of luck to everyone and with you and your endeavors.
I agree. Mike's going to be a success. He does jump into something. Came back from 1 week after Jack polluted the whole river with his product. He came back with an idea to save Jack's company and the waterway. Okay, so I'd be remiss if I was not going to say a couple of words about our Entrepreneur of the Year. This fella, without a doubt, has emailed me every day, multiple times a day, with ideas, concepts, research and development on things that, were far-reaching from his level of skill set that he should have had. So let's have a rousing round of applause for Lexus, our Entrepreneur of the Year.
Hey guys. So when I first walked into this class, I thought this would just be another class with a lecture, a test, textbooks, projects, maybe some essays, and the occasional presentation. But what I didn't expect was Professor Leibowitz standing there sharing his life story, guest speakers, and presentations on our own business aspirations. To me, that was the most important thing that I took away from this class, to be able to present my idea, something that I thought about myself and dreamed about, and getting criticism from all my classmates. Most of the time, I walk around with tons of ideas floating around my head, but no one really to pitch them to. This class gave me an audience that I could actually show off my ideas and see what they thought about it. This class also gave me the opportunity and the confidence to stand up and talk to everybody. I'm not really a big people's person. It's sometimes a little difficult for me to stand up and talk to a group of people, but standing up here all the time and doing presentations really helped me with that. This class also taught me the essentials to creating my own business, from a business plan to marketing to branding, and to help me view businesses in a different way. Prior to this class, I always thought that I would graduate and let all my dreams just be dreams. But upon hearing and witnessing the success stories being told in front of us, I realized that nothing is out of reach. As long as I work hard, keep my head up, and be persistent, someday my dreams may become a reality. I think that businesses, as much as it is about the products and the business model, I think that the people are an important aspect of it as well. I'm a person that's been hustling my whole life. Starting when I was 14 at middle high school, I used to sell candy and soda, and now I'm doing eBay and making YouTube videos. So I understand what it takes to go forward and to make things happen. If I don't know something or I'm unsure about something, I will spend time to learn and find out. An investment in my business would not just be an investment in the product, but be an investment in me as well.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to get going. My dad's a little bit under the weather. We have to get him back in the car. I'm going to leave copies of my textbook for everybody so you can keep a physical memorandum of the class. It was so great having everybody in here. Please stay in touch via email. Katie Schlesinger from the foundation. If you've not received your checks, by the way, in your direct deposit, she'll give you her business card. Thanks so much. Wish you all the best of luck.